Hello, and welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQ. Let's begin with the previous day's question. Regarding regional rural banks in India, consider the following statements. 1. They are jointly owned by the central government, state governments, and sponsor banks. 2. These banks operate in every state except Goa and Sikkim only. 3. With the one state, one RRB policy taking effect from 1st May 2025, the total number of RRBs will reduce to 28. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 2 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option B. Regional rural banks began with 5 banks on 2nd October 1975 and have grown remarkably since then. They are jointly owned by the central government, state governments and sponsor banks in a 50:15:35 ratio. Hence, statement 1 is correct. These banks operate across all Indian states except for Goa, Sikkim and a few union territories. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. During the expansion phase, the number of RRBs rose to 196, followed by 2 decades of multi-phase consolidation, with the one state, one RRB policy taking effect from 1st May 2025, their number will reduce to 28. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Moving on to the first question, consider the following pairs. We have crocodile species and their IUCN status. 1. Mugger crocodile, vulnerable. 2. Saltwater crocodile, least concern. 3. Ghadial, critically endangered. How many of the pairs given above is or are correctly matched? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option C. Mugger or marsh crocodile is an egg-laying, hole-nesting species known to be dangerous. It is listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, is included in CITES Appendix 1 and is protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Hence, pair 1 is correctly matched. Saltwater crocodile or estuarine. It is Earth's largest living crocodile species, known for its reputation as a man-eater. It is listed as least concern on the IUCN Red List, included in CITES Appendix 1, except in Australia, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea, where it is in Appendix 2, and is protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Hence, pair 2 is correctly matched. Ghadial. It is also known as gavials. They are a type of Asian crocodilian with long, thin snouts resembling a pot, ghada in Hindi. Their population is a good indicator of clean river water. It is a relatively harmless fish-eating species. It is listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List and is protected under CITES Appendix 1 and Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Hence, pair 3 is correctly matched. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 2. Regarding the 3rd UN Ocean Conference 2025, consider the following statements. 1. Its objective was to establish the Nice Ocean Agreements as an international pact aligned with the UN's 2015 SDGs. 2. Malaysia and the World Bank introduced the Coral Bond, an innovative financial tool designed to fund coral reef conservation and restoration efforts in Malaysia. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. The 2025 UN Ocean Conference held in Nice, France, adopted the declaration Our Ocean, Our Future, United for Urgent Action, reinforcing global commitments to Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water. The objectives of UNOC 3 was to establish the Nice Ocean Agreements as an international pact aligned with the UN's 2015 SDGs and to advance the agreement on marine biodiversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction by securing ratification from 60 countries to regulate the high seas. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Key ocean conservation initiatives announced at UNOC 3. European Commission. announced a 1 billion euro investment to promote ocean conservation, advance marine science, and support sustainable fishing practices, designed to fund reef conservation and restoration efforts in Indonesia. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 3. Consider the following statements regarding Shipkila Pass. 1. It is located in Himachal Pradesh and marks a boundary post on the line of actual control between India and China. 2. The Satluj River enters India through the Shipkila Pass, which has historically functioned as a key trade route between India and Tibet. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. Shipkila Pass is located in Himachal Pradesh and marks a boundary post on the line of actual control between India and China. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Shipkila is a motorable mountain pass which marks a boundary post on the line of actual control and is among India's highest motorable passes. The Satluj River enters India through this pass, which is historically served as a key Indo-Tibetan trade route. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The pass was earlier known as Pemala or Shared Gate and was renamed Shipkila by the Indo-Tibetan Border Police after 1962. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 4. Consider the following statements regarding Cyprus. 1. Cyprus is the largest island in the Mediterranean Sea and lies at the intersection of Europe and North America. 2. The United Nations maintains a peacekeeping force to monitor the buffer zone between the Republic of Cyprus and the Turkish Cyprus region. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B. Cyprus is a Eurasian island country located in the northeast Mediterranean Sea at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa. Cyprus is the third largest island after Sicily and Sardinia in the eastern Mediterranean region. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Cyprus gained independence from Britain in 1960, but the 1974 Turkish invasion led to its partition into Turkish-controlled north, recognized only by Turkey, and the Republic of Cyprus in the south. The United Nations maintains a peacekeeping force in Cyprus to monitor the buffer zone between the divided regions. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 5. Consider the following statements regarding derivatives. 1. Derivatives are financial contracts whose value comes from an underlying asset like currencies. 2. Options obligate the holder to buy or sell an asset at the market price within a specified period. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. Derivatives are contracts whose value depends on underlying assets or indicators such as currencies, stocks, or commodities, and include instruments like forwards, futures, and options. Hence, statement 1 is correct. An option gives the holder the right but not the obligation to buy or sell an asset at a specified price before or at a certain date for a premium. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Electricity derivatives are financial instruments that help GenCos, DISCOMs, and large industrial consumers hedge against fluctuations in power prices by trading on future electricity output. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 6. With reference to the Indian monsoon, consider the following statements. 1. The Western Ghats received the first rainfall of the summer monsoon season. 2. The southwest monsoon generally sets in over Kerala around the first week of June. 3. The northeast monsoon brings rainfall to the coastal regions of Tamil Nadu at the onset of winter. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 2 and 3 only, C. 1 and 3 only, D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is D. The Western Ghats, especially the windward side, are amongst the first regions in India to receive rainfall from the southwest monsoon. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Indian Meteorological Department officially marks the onset of southwest monsoon over Kerala around 1st June. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The northeast monsoon, also known as the retreating monsoon, occurs from October to December, which is the onset of winter in India. It brings significant rainfall to the southeastern coast, especially Tamil Nadu, which receives over 50% of its annual rainfall during this period. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 7. Regarding the Indus Water Treaty, consider the following statements. 1. It was signed in 1960 in Karachi and was mediated by the World Bank. 2. India has full control over the western rivers Indus, Chenab and Jhelum, while Pakistan controls the eastern rivers Ravi, Beas and Satluj. 3. The treaty established a permanent Indus Commission and a three-tiered dispute resolution mechanism. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 3 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 2 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option A. The Indus Water Treaty was signed in Karachi in 1960 and mediated by the World Bank. Hence, statement 1 is correct. According to the Indus Water Treaty, Pakistan has exclusive rights to use the western rivers Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, while India has the exclusive rights to use the eastern rivers Ravi, Beas and Satluj without restriction. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The Indus Waters Treaty established a permanent Indus Commission comprising commissioners from both India and Pakistan to oversee the treaty's implementation and resolve issues. The treaty also outlines a three-tiered dispute resolution mechanism. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 8. With reference to the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, consider the following statements. 1. It was announced in 2023 at the G20 summit in New Delhi through an MOU signed by the European Union and 7 countries, including India, the US, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. 2. The corridor aims to provide an alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative by promoting transparent, sustainable, and debt-free infrastructure. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. The India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor is a strategic multimodal connectivity initiative launched through a Memorandum of Understanding during the G20 Summit 2023 in New Delhi. It was signed between the European Union and 7 countries, namely India, the US, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, France, Germany, and Italy. Hence, statement 1 is correct. IMEC seeks to position itself as a viable alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative by promoting transparent, sustainable, and debt-free infrastructure without compromising national sovereignty. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 9. Regarding the Strait of Malacca, consider the following statements. 1. It connects the Andaman Sea in the Indian Ocean with the South China Sea in the Pacific Ocean. 2. It lies between the Indonesian island of Sumatra to the east and peninsular Malaysia and southern Thailand to the west. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. The Strait of Malacca is a narrow stretch of water that serves as a crucial maritime passage. It connects the Andaman Sea, part of the northeastern Indian Ocean, to the South China Sea, which is a part of the western Pacific Ocean. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Geographically, the Strait of Malacca is bordered on the east by the Indonesian island of Sumatra and on the west by peninsular Malaysia and the southern part of Thailand. Hence, statement 2 is correct. This positioning makes it a vital strategic choke point for global maritime traffic, serving as one of the world's busiest and most significant sea routes. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 10. With reference to the Global Gender Gap Index Report 2025, consider the following statements. 1. India's overall rank has declined by 2 positions from the previous year, standing at 131 out of 148 countries. 2. The index assesses gender parity in a country based on 4 dimensions: economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment. 3. The political empowerment category shows improved female participation in parliament and ministerial roles since the last evaluation. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option A. According to the Global Gender Gap Index 2025 released by the World Economic Forum, India ranks 131 out of 148 countries, slipping from 129th in 2024. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The index evaluates gender parity in a country across 4 areas: economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment. Hence, statement 2 is correct. India has recorded a decline in the political empowerment category since the last assessment. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Female participation in parliament decreased from 14.7% to 13.8% in 2025, lowering this indicator for the second consecutive year compared to 2023 levels. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Now let us look at a practice question. Consider the following pairs. We have writ and primary purpose. 1. Habeas corpus, to ensure release from unlawful detention. 2. Mandamus, to quash an order of a lower court passed without jurisdiction. 3. Prohibition, to prevent a lower court or tribunal from exceeding its jurisdiction. How many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. Provide your answers in the comment section.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.